people in my group, I tried not to cover it, but listen, I got to because this is crazy. What does this mean for us? you know, I tried to reach out to Owl for Socken to see if we could do a divination on it right quick, but Follow Coon, I'm sorry, and try to see if we could do a divination on it real quick to see if it's just a bunch of hogwash. Because I would hate to waste my time, But people are saying he's really going to do it. Like he's fixing to do this.
The last president to give a deadline was Truman, and that was Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So we're gonna see how it turns out.
This is getting crazy, you guys. So let's hear a little bit more. I gotta go pick up my daughter at 3:30. So I'm gonna give you about maybe 15 more minutes, and I gotta go. But wow, this is sad.
And we're gonna see how this develops. But notice what Alex is saying, a supporter of the president.
He's looking for an off ramp internally. He knows that he was lied to. He knows it's hurting the economy. He's really upset about the strait, even though he's saying he isn't. Oh, go ahead and keep the strait. We don't care. Now, next day, effing turn it over. We're going to blow you up. Put you in the Stone Age. He's really upset with the people that advised him. And I said, what was that Levin thing about? He goes, oh, absolutely. He is really, really now just think Levin's an idiot. And then I saw Levin Saturday night. Okay, we need to go ahead and end it, but have a permanent U.S. base and just kill them here and there when we need to. Well, that's better than World War IV. And Mark Levin makes jokes about World War IV. It's what the CIA calls it, Dumbo. World War III was the cold.
So I just wanted to give you guys a good indication of what's happening right now when it comes to different individuals who are strong president supporters, but now we're starting to see them come up with all of these reasonings as to why things are going the way they are. I'm going to show you now even how the Pope has come forward to speak in regards to these matters. And it's quite frankly, it's not great what he has to say in regards to the president of the United States, as he has come out to be a critic, right?
Man, this is probably one of the worst situations to be an American citizen. Listen, if anybody's traveling to another country, be very careful. You do not, in a time like this, if this goes down, you do not want to be over. You do not want to keep your head on the swivel if you're in another country, because you could get compromised. So let's go. Here's the Pope.
Since becoming the first US-born leader of the Catholic Church, Pope Leo has largely avoided comment on his home country. He'd never mentioned President Donald Trump publicly until now.
President Trump.
But that era has come to an end, according to Reuters Vatican correspondent Joshua McElwee.
So Vatican officials have been telling me for the past 10 months that Pope Leo is quite cautious about how he talks about the United States. What seemed to change this week is that Pope Leo has become more and more vocal in criticism of the U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran that began the Iran war that is now in its second month. The Pope on Palm Sunday, which is the celebration that opens Holy Week for Catholics.
Okay, guys, JC Toad says, you're fed up when you piss off the Pope. All right, thank you.
The most important week of the year, gave a homily in which he said that God rejects the prayers of those who wage war because they have blood on their hands.
Susan says, Alex is a scammer poster child. Now, notice what it just said in regards to the Pope. The Pope says that God rejects the prayers of those that engage in war. What is he saying in regards to this administration and the fact that we're engaging in war with Iran?
Man, this whole thing. So now they want to bring religion into it. So the Pope then got involved.
So the Catholic Church is all of a sudden going to take the moral high ground. As many people as they done slayed over the thousands of years, stop it. Or so not thousands, but hundreds of years.
Right, like the Catholic Church cares about Muslims being slain.
Right, get out of here.
They don't care about that. Like, we need to be, listen, if anybody, please don't be, let's be realistic, And all this right after Easter Sunday. So Tucker Carlson called Trump the Antichrist. He said Trump is the Antichrist after praise a lot of threats,
I don't trust him either. His dad was CIA.
Right. So like what? Yeah. They're saying that he's up here now. He done got into the thing. He's saying that Tucker Carlson says Trump is the Antichrist after praise a lot of threats. Tucker attacks Trump for mocking Islam. I'm not sure. Is Tucker Carlson? Is he Christian or like? I'm not sure exactly where he stands.
I don't know either, but I don't trust him as far as I can throw him.
Honey, okay, we're not even going into that. You know, we're not going to talk about religion is religion. I think that religion has nothing to do with what's happening here. This is about power. This is about control. It's a mistake to bring religion into it.
Keep note of how this develops.
This is a very strong thing for the Pope to say.
Those comments were interpreted by conservative Catholic commentators as aimed at US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
May his almighty and eternal arms,
who's previously invoked Christian language to justify the joint US-Israeli military action. The Pope's sharp criticism of the Iran war and his direct naming of Trump on Tuesday marks a significant shift in tone from the pontiff.
Hopefully he's looking for an off-ramp. Hopefully he's looking for a way to decrease the amount of violence, of bombing.
The Pontiff Leo chose to use an American colloquialism the president and administration officials would understand.
I think broadly speaking, Vatican officials, like much of the world, are aware that President Trump is taking a lot of moves that are controversial and divisive, and they're quite worried about the direction of the world. They're worried about the atmosphere of violence in the Iran war, but also
the other night we had this extensive breakdown about Christian nationalism, and we know that as a person seeking to be a Christian, in essence, following in the footsteps of Jesus, right? They're supposed to lead with the love. War is definitely not a part of the story, especially in a glamorous way or engaging in war. In fact, the Bible says you'll learn war anymore. This is for people that are believers. But you have the Catholic Church, right, coming out to say, listen, you guys who are professing to be Christians, your prayers are going to be hindered if you engage in these wars. And also, this whole event started off with the taking of the lives of roughly 160, 180 young schoolgirls. So all of these things are at play. And we're starting to see it unfold, and we're seeing so many people push back on it, and they're being quite vocal.
Man, this is... I don't know. This whole thing is turning into something crazy.
Donald Trump just blinked again after threatening to obliterate the entire Iranian civilization. Here to break it down with me is Brian Tyler Cohen, out with the new book, The Day After: How to Wield Power in a Post-Trump World. Pre-orders available now. So the pattern that we see, Brian, is that Donald Trump makes this threat of a genocide, a threat of war crimes, a threat on a massive scale, and then that rattles the markets. He gets called out for threatening war crimes. Let's be clear, he's already engaged in war crimes already, and we should speak with moral clarity when we talk about what he and Netanyahu have been doing. But he then goes to Barack Ravid, the same guy, over at Axios, and this just happened moments ago. I mean, my report from 10 a.m. this morning Pacific time was Donald Trump basically seemed to be threatening nuclear annihilation. I don't know how else you would do.
Crazy. Threatening nuclear annihilation. Why? Why is this even happening?
It's just evil.
This is incredible.
Interpret it. And then he says this, this is Barack Ravid. Progress was recorded in the last 24 hours in the negotiations between the U.S. and Iran, but reaching a ceasefire agreement by Trump's deadline at 8 p.m. still seems distant, according to a senior American official, a senior Israeli official, and two additional sources familiar with the details.
Iran ain't gonna back down. They're Muslim. They're like, hey, we're gonna do it till the wheels fall off. Ain't that? I mean, that's almost like asking. Remember during the Vietnam War? Do you know how, man? Child, they're not going to back down. Come on now.
Now, this follows Brian and Midas Mighty, senior Iranian sources saying if Trump does that, we're going to make the entire Middle East also light up in fire. We're going to shut the lights off there. We learned that There was some intermediary communications that may have been happening through Pakistan and others between Iran and Trump. The moment Trump posted that, Iran said, no more communications. We're not talking to you, even just to exchange possible messages. By the way, at your request, Trump, you're the one kind of coming to us. And now there's no communications. Then Trump posts that. And Brian, you break it down every day like we do here. You're an OG, someone who I admire, and you've been following Donald Trump's, career and just the modern day politics you covered in your book. Let's talk about this moment, then let's expand from there, Brian. What do you make of it all?
Yeah, I think something that's especially interesting right now is in the immediate aftermath of Trump posting that genocidal threat, you had a bunch of even diehard Republicans come out and condemn what he was saying. Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Joe Kent, all of these people started calling for an invocation of the 25th Amendment. And I think
so now they want to invoke the 25th Amendment. All this other crazy stuff been going on. They now think it's like, okay, now it's too much. And now it's 3:00. We got 5 hours to this deadline that he didn't put on Iran. And then now it's too late now. Y'all should have been saying this. That's what I'm saying. Y'all been so busy talking about the Democrats this whole time. Y'all not looking at what's going on in your own backyard.
I think it's become clear even to, these diehard MAGA or former MAGA Republicans, the danger that Trump poses because he feels increasingly backed into a corner. And when he feels like he doesn't have power in a certain situation, he lashes out. This is something that he's done time and time and time again. He wants to feel like he's got total control. And so if that means he's got to wield the full weight of the US military in order to do that, clearly he has no qualms about doing that. But this is all coming from a position of weakness, not strength. And so Donald Trump coming out and feeling like he has to up the ante every time is not because he's, again, negotiating from a position of strength. It's because that feels like the only thing that he can do to try and get his way. And it doesn't work every single time.